You know that little push you give yourself before standing up. That quick breath,
That tine brace in your knees, it sneaks up on everyone after 60. Most people think, it's just the knees getting old. But that's not really what's happening.
your body's still capable, it's just forgotten the right order to move. A woman from my morning group told me something beautiful. She said, "I thought my knees were done, but then I learned it was my hips that had gone quiet." She started one tiny routine, a slow hip shift before standing. 2 weeks later, she was back to her sunrise walks. That's the part no one tells you. It's not your knees giving up. It's your hips waiting to be reawakened. And when they switch on again, your knees feel lighter. Your steps feel confident. And suddenly, standing isn't something you try to do, it just happens again. 2. Reframe. It's not about pain, it's about the signal. Your knees aren't weak, they're waiting for a message. Every time you stand up, your hips are supposed to whisper, "First, we're moving." But with time, that whisper gets quiet, the signal slows down, and when the hips hesitate, the knees panic, taking on work they were never built to do. That's why you feel that strange heaviness. Not pain from damage, pain from delay. Here's the twist most people never expect. When scientists at Harvard studied older adults rising from a chair, they found something surprising. The strongest legs didn't always stand up fastest. The fastest signal from hip to brain did. That means your body isn't losing strength, it's losing coordination. And coordination can always be retrained. Try something right now. While you're sitting, press one hand gently on your hip. Now breathe in and feel that subtle movement before your knees even think of lifting. That's the signal we're waking up again. When you relearn that timing, everything changes. You stop pushing with the knees. You start leading with the hips. One viewer once wrote to me saying, "I didn't get stronger. I just stopped fighting my own body." That's exactly it. Once your hips lead, your knees finally get to rest. So next time you stand, think less about effort and more about sequence. Because strength doesn't start in the muscles, it starts in the message. 3. Story block 1. The forgotten hip chain. Picture this. You're sitting at the kitchen table. You push back your chair to stand. Your knees bend your shoulders, lean forward, and your body hesitates. It feels like effort, but what's really happening is a chain reaction that's gone out of sync. Your hips are the first link in that chain. When they stay asleep, the knees jump in, clumsy overwork doing double duty. You've probably felt it without knowing it. That tiny moment when you press harder with your feet but nothing moves yet. That's not weakness. That's your hips missing their cue. Here's the twist. When your hips lead first, even by half a second, your body suddenly remembers how to rise in one piece. It's smoother, it's lighter.
And it doesn't drain you. There's a study from Harvard showing older adults
Who retrained their hip timing used 38% less energy just to stand up. Think about that. The same body, the same legs, but nearly 40% less effort. That's the power of remembering sequence. Someone once told me they discovered this by accident. He was reaching for the kettle one morning, leaned from his hips instead of his knees, and said, "For the first time in years, I didn't groan." He laughed about it, but that small moment became his favorite part of the day. Try something while you're watching. Shift your weight just a little. Not forward, not down, but from your hips. Feel how the rest of you follows naturally. That's the forgotten chain. It's still there waiting to be woken up. Once you find it, your body starts to cooperate again. You don't have to fight it anymore. 4. Story block 2. The hip switch practice.
Let's try something simple together. Find a chair nearby, steady, comfortable, not too low.
Sit down and place your feet flat on the floor. Now, instead of thinking about standing up, think about waking your hips. Take a slow breath. Feel how your body expands just a little. Now let your hips lean forward, just an inch, nothing forced. Your chest stays calm, your eyes steady. Then press your feet down and rise slowly, evenly. That's it. That's your hidden switch. When the hips move first, everything else follows with less effort.
Most people don't realize how gentle it can feel. You don't need to brace.
You only need to start from the right place. One woman wrote to me saying she practiced this during her morning tea. She said, "I just let my hips lead, and my knees stopped arguing."
Still makes me smile. You can try it right now. If you're sitting, lean slightly from the hips.
And then pause. Don't stand yet. Feel that instant when your center shifts forward. That's your body saying, "I'm ready." Now rise slow and light. Notice how your knees feel less burdened. That's the sequence waking up again. Mini twist, this isn't about building strength. It's about reminding your brain of timing. Your nervous system loves patterns. When it finds the right one, it keeps it. You're not forcing movement. You're restoring memory. Do this once or twice a day. Maybe when you stand up from breakfast. Maybe when you get out of your favorite chair. The body learns fast when it feels safe. And once your hips take the lead again, you'll notice it everywhere, in the way you walk, the way you turn, even the way you breathe. That's not exercise. That's recovery of rhythm. 5. Restoring confidence, not just motion. Every time your hips remember the right sequence, something deeper wakes up too. It's not just movement returning, it's confidence. That small hesitation you feel, it's never just physical. It's your body quietly asking, "Can I trust this?" And every time you rise smoothly, you answer, "Yes, you can." That's the real training. Not lifting weights, not pushing harder, just restoring trust between your body and your mind. One viewer told me she practiced the hip switch for a week. Then one morning she stood up without thinking about it. No pause, no brace. She said she started laughing, not because it was funny, but because it felt like her body had finally exhaled. That's what healing often looks like. Quiet, ordinary victories. You stand up, you breathe, and nothing hurts. Here's the twist. Confidence isn't a thought you repeat. It's a feeling your body remembers. It starts in the hips, travels through your posture, and lands in your breath. The more your body moves in rhythm, the more your brain relaxes.
The fear fades. The hesitation melts. Try something small right now.
Sit again slowly, safely. Then stand up, letting your hips move first. Notice how smooth it feels. That gentle flow, that's not just motion. That's trust being rebuilt. When you move this way, you don't just stand taller, you live taller. 6. Return loop and reflection. Let's come back to where we began. That moment before standing up.
The small pause. The quiet breath. Try it with me one last time. Sit tall. Feel your feet on the ground. Now, instead of bracing your knees,
Let your hips lead. Just a slow forward lean and rise.
notice what's different. Maybe the movement feels lighter. Maybe it feels calmer.
Maybe for the first time in a while it feels natural again. If you felt that shift, even a small one, that's your body remembering. The message got through. The signal woke up. That's a win, and you earned it.
Take a second. How does your balance feel right now? More steady? More sure?
Leave a comment and tell me. Because when you share what you notice,
Someone else will see themselves in your story too. This is how we rebuild together, not through struggle, but through awareness. Every small movement you reclaim adds back a piece of independence, a piece of trust, a piece of you. So next time you stand up, maybe tomorrow morning, don't rush. Feel that rhythm again. Let your hips take the first note. Let your body follow the melody. What you practice today isn't exercise, it's memory. Your body's way of saying, I still know how. Move in your comfort zone. If pain lingers, always check with your doctor or therapist. But keep this ritual gentle and alive. Because confidence, just like strength, grows when you use it. Try it for a week. Then come back here and tell me what changed. Maybe it's balance. Maybe it's trust. Maybe it's that feeling that you can still rise whenever you want to.